Empower Imagination. My name is Chintana. I will be your host for today. Inspire, empower, and transform. That is the type of conversation we like to share with you today. And my guest today that I have with me is my darling friend, Sher Matthew.
Hi, I'm Sher.
So it's good to have you here today, Sher.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, it's such an honor. And before we go to our conversation and talk to the audience about so many interesting, challenging, and adversity you've gone through, as well as celebration of life that you've gone through, we're gonna take a moment, okay, to let's just be gratitude and grateful for all the things we're blessed to have in our life and on our journey. So we're going to do a 1 second, take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And as we are talking in our conversation, I want it to be authentic. And I want to God, the wise, and whatever, the higher powers you believe in, to guide the message in our conversation. Because I believe that the conversation we have today is a very powerful message that I think you are trying to share with people globally about the cause that you truly believe in. So let me share with you guys a little bit about Sher. Sher was born and raised in Texas, am I correct?
Born and raised in the great state of Texas.
Wow, now I want to hear more about that, especially because your parents are originally from India, correct?
Yes, my mom and dad are originally from India. Yes, absolutely, and they're immigrants, so came to Texas and stayed there. Well, who wouldn't? Texas is amazing,
right? A beautiful city. I've been to Texas, so shout out to Texas, right?
Yeah, a little bit hot, but we like it that way. Everything's bigger in Texas, even our hearts. So.
Oh, that's very sweet, very sweet. So Sher, I'd like to hear a little bit about what was it like growing up in down south, as you're the first immigrant, right? The first generation.
First generation.
Your parents are immigrants, so you're the first generation, and you have done very well. I mean, you finished your doctorate degree. She's a doctor of pharmaceutical.
Yes. And
she traveled more than 57 countries.
Yeah, I've had 57, but I think I've traveled to 58 probably.
Wow, who's counting, right?
Yeah, who's counting?
So since you mentioned you travel a lot to different parts of the world, what is it about traveling that you experience and gain from it?
I've always been under the belief that I am a global citizen. I'm proud to be an American, of course, and I am grateful to God that God brought my parents before I was born to the United States, such a great country of opportunity and freedom, and I'm proud to be a U.S. citizen, but even more so, I think growing up in an immigrant family, you learn that you are a global citizen, and everyone out there is our brothers and sisters. And Chintana, I grew up in the missions-focused home. So keep in mind that serving orphans or missionaries, and that kind of lifestyle was how I was born and raised. So I don't know any other life.
So you know more about giving and caring.
Absolutely.
I can actually kind of feel related to you on that, because I was born and raised in Thailand also, and grew up there. My grandparents, my family, my parents, they are like that also. They're more of the community-driven mission of lifestyle living. They build temple, they donate it, whatever they can. They do fundraising and bringing community together.
Beautiful.
I think that's how we wanted to see as we grew through, because there's a lot of challenging going on right now. There's a lot of negative out in our society, in social media, a lot of bullying, a lot of fake news, a lot of story that is not real, and a lot of things that is hurtful to people. And I hope that it's something that we can change and transform the movement to become more kindness, to become more generosity and generous toward each other.
And I agree with you. I think a lot of times generally people don't want to bully.
Right.
I think it's a lack of education. They don't understand other cultures. And
Right.
maybe it's because of a fear. And as we were talking before, fear is an enemy of all of our souls.
Right.
I really truly believe that. And because of that fear, it drives them to think negatively of other cultures, just simply because they don't know.
Right.
That's why I encourage travel. I encourage getting to know people of other cultures, other races, colors, and it will wipe out that fear. The more you get to know one another, or I always say, when I go travel, I travel alone a lot because I want to go see what my brothers and sisters are doing on the other side of the world.
Correct.
And I think if everyone takes that same attitude, they'll begin to love one another rather than fearing and sparking hate.
And the word fear, when we talk about it, is actually the word F-E-A-R. Think about it. I think somebody mentioned to me the other day. Fear is false evidence appearing real.
Yes.
False evidence appearing real.
That's
so
right.
it's not real. So whatever we have fear, it's an illusion.
That's right.
You know, and many times I often remind people to, if fear even arise in your heart, because we go through life, there's so many adversity and challenges in life, right?
Right.
So there's certain adversity we're facing is because it's part of the journey to help us become stronger.
Right.
My analogy is that if you're going through very tough challenge in life, think of this as a weightlifting, right? When you exercise, if you want to get bigger muscle, guess what you have to do? You have to try to lift heavy weight.
Increase the weight.
Right. So if the challenging increase, meaning that you're gonna get stronger and get better.
Oh, that speaks to me.
You know,
that's my life.
So you share with me. Oh, that's what I love. I'm glad that we shared earlier, and you shared with me about certain challenges you've gone through. And before we direct to the cancer, is that I'm sure growing up as a first generation at that time, there's a lot of challenging racism, not knowing or understand why you look this way, and culture-wise, why does your parents dress that way? So I just like to share just a little bit.
And it's funny you say that. Growing up, I had amazing parents. You know, my mom tragically died in a car accident all of a sudden, so she's not with us today. She's with the Lord in heaven, and she and my father would always, they're very hardworking, they never got a chance to finish their education here, but they worked multiple jobs apiece, they were such hard workers. That's the only model I have. It's a wonder why I still work. I've worked since I was 16 and never stopped working. And it's a wonder how my work ethic is. I always say I have good work ethic because they were hard workers, and I watched that. Nothing was ever handed to us, but it was okay because it was through that hard work, through those challenges that where my strength comes from. I believe that from God through that, and so. They always wanted to preserve our culture coming to America, but it was very hard because I was in public schools, and they would send me to school with Indian food, and that was weird for everyone.
But it's delicious, though. I love
Indian food. You got it. It's delicious, girl.
All the herbal and stuff.
That's
right. Good for you.
That's right. My mom, she was. A stickler for preserving no matter what, and I always used to butt heads with my mom, but now that when she's gone, I feel like I am just like her, that same bullheaded fighter type of spirit, and I am very much a fighter, and she was as well. She was such an amazing mother, and so growing up and trying to merge the two cultures as a first generation immigrant's daughter was challenging. Kind of funny when I look back. I did go through bullying in school.
So how did you deal with the bullying?
My mom and dad, they love God so much that our foundation was so set on the Word of God.
Okay.
And, you know, I never once had a hopeless feeling through the bullying.
Yeah.
It's funny how when you are raised to model Jesus Christ and the life of Christ and to love like that, and it sounds cliche-ish, but it's not really. It's like the Word of God is so hidden in my heart.
Yes.
That anytime somebody bullied me, or I saw somebody being bullied, I was for the underdog, or I wanted to change them, or I wanted to give them love back. And that's a weird thing to say.
And you know, that's what I'm a very spiritual person, right? I'm very spiritual. I'm not religion, but very spiritual. And I do believe that every religion have beautiful teaching. Namely Buddhism, Christian, Hindu, Islam, Muslim, Taoism, you know, you name it. If you really meet people who are very spiritual and truly really practice, you know, the teaching, they are so loving.
They're loving.
They're not. They have no mean spirits in them at all.
Right,
you know?
And I agree. I think that walking in love is something everybody should wake up.
Absolutely.
Like I wake up and because that spirit is in my heart.
Correct.
I always say, God, how can I, you know, I'm not perfect and by no means, nobody is, but I always ask God, how can I walk in love today? And if think about it, if everybody in the world did that, you know, it doesn't have to be big. It's just big ways, small ways. So many different ways you can walk in love, whether it's a smile or hugging somebody or just saying, you know, how are you, good morning. All of us can do it. It's easy.
Yes. and you brought up a very good point, because in the morning is a perfect timing for reflection, for think back about, okay, we're blessed to wake up this morning. So there is a reason and there's a calling that you're being given to do something to make a difference to your life that can transform other people's lives. So gratitude, I noticed from you do a lot of gratitude.
I do.
Confirmation.
I believe in living a life of humility and a life of gratitude. I mean, the power of being gracious and being grateful goes a long way. I mean, people appreciate that more than we know, and the more you are grateful, I believe blessings will come. It doesn't mean it's nothing financial. It's in every way.
In every way.
Love,
every
peace, healing.
Yes.
I mean, those are blessings that come to you, you know, that have nothing to do with money, and they are so much more valuable. You know, when you leave this earth, if you leave those values, those are the lasting values.
Because people will remember you. By how you make them feel, how loved you are, how genuine you are towards them, you know, and that's something that money can't buy.
No.
But nothing wrong with money, right?
Nothing's wrong with money, because we need your money.
Because on that note, you know, I know you're doing a lot right now, fundraising to try to help with the leukemia and blood cancer, and you are the Woman of the Year candidate this year, 2017. So I'd like to hear a little bit more about that. How did she decide to join the Leukemia Foundation?
Well, I will tell you something. The universe decided for me.
Okay.
You
got an assignment.
That's right. I'm a firm believer that whatever is in your heart, I say the universe will chase that and chase you.
Yes.
So I am always feeling like, and especially now, that God has chasing me, and this project found me. In 2015, I was diagnosed with the cancer. If it wasn't dealt with, it was an unexpected diagnosis. I do orphan care work in Africa. I came back from Africa on a mission trip.
Yeah, I remember. I heard about that.
And we are doing the first clinic in Shingola at the Lusanga Children's Home in Zambia. And my girlfriend, who's an amazing inspiration, was diagnosed with breast cancer, Adele Hartland. And I merely went to the doctor because to get a general checkup. I said, I'm a doctor of pharmacy, I'm a pharmacist, I have a good job, I have good insurance, why not? I've never been sick before.
Right.
And so it was in that routine visit, and I was even stubborn, I wasn't going to go, but my girlfriend, Amity Holton, she recommended her doctor, and she told me just make an appointment, and because of her and Dr. Maurice Butler, a mass was found.
Wow.
And that's when this whole thing started. When the diagnosis of cancer came, I still couldn't believe it.
Right.
I was in total denial. Even now, looking back, I can't. I really can't see that this is real, but this was real, and I went through since then radical surgery to remove the cancer. Had it not been discovered, my oncologist at MD Anderson Cancer Center, God bless them for being part of saving my life. One doctor said you would have died in 10 years, and then my doctors here said no, there were some mutations on this cancer, and you probably would have died in 5. So I say that, you know, with that I say I did not choose cancer. Nobody does.
Right.
And basically, We Will Survive Cancer Foundations asked me to be on their board of directors after this whole experience, which that in itself was amazing.
Right.
Gail Vann is one of the founders of that.
They're doing a lot of work fundraising
yes.
to help with the family.
They're amazing.
Affected by the cancer.
That's right. And so after that, doing work with Howard University hospital cancer patients, I got an unexpected call from the Leukemia Lymphoma Society.
Right.
I had done work with them before through another candidate, Carl Bedell, who was runner-up of Man of the Year last year. And they asked me to run they wanted to nominate me for Woman of the Year. And I thought to myself, how did this happen?
Remember the universe and the device always know when your time is ready. They know when you're ready to go to the battle, to fight for other people who need your voice.
The truth, gosh, it's the truth.
Yeah.
And you know, even when I left the cancer center, I think everyone may go through this.
Yeah.
I wanted to run away and never have anything to do with cancer because it's that, you know, going in and out of the cancer center, seeing these people suffering, you know. I feel like I barely escaped.
Right.
With the skin on my teeth, you know, they did the radical surgery, and my lymph nodes didn't light up, so they did not have to further with chemo, and you know, that is a blessing. You know, I'll be under observation, of course, for many years to make sure this thing didn't spread any further. In fact, I'll go to my next test, and I'm expecting to be cancer-free in Jesus' name. So,
hallelujah for that one. Hallelujah.
So you know, when they asked me, I was like, oh my goodness. I was expecting, done, chapter, I'm going to travel the world, I'm going to love people, but to be sort of like, I think the Man and Woman of the Year, you're like an ambassador for patients that cannot speak.
Correct.
You know, those continuing to suffer, to battle their cancer battles, and really it's an honor, it's an absolute honor and privilege to even be alive.
Yeah, I'm very proud that you take your effort and time to do this because you work like 60 hours a week. You're superwoman. And you know, so not only does she work 60 hours a week, you do whatever you can to help support any philanthropy.
It's in my
any
blood.
Fundraising going on in DC area, DMV. You support them. You know, I mean, how do you have time to sleep?
You know, I don't sleep, and I think that's part of the problem. But I love it so much. It's my passion.
Yeah.
It maybe, I believe having a servant's heart and your service will open doors.
That's your energy, right?
It is. It's my drive. It's my passion to serve others.
Yeah.
My highest joy is giving. And there's no other thing that brings me joy and love in my heart is to giving to another. To know that your gift, whatever that gift is, is bringing some kind of life into that person's being and soul. And I encourage people. I always encourage people, when you are going through a battle, when you're going through your hardest moment, give to someone else. People that know me know that's my advice. When they're going through something bad, that giving will springboard healing back to you.
Absolutely, because this is what I always say also, that as the giver, you always have more to give. Cheers.
Yes.
So when you are such a giver, God will give you more to give to others, because
Right.
you know you have the
It's
right
true.
spirit for it.
Oh, goodness, it's so
You
true.
know?
It's true. It's absolutely true. You know, you as you give, it's almost like the fishes and the loaves.
Yes,
Remember
yes,
the feeding of the 5,000?
yes.
The little boy gave what little amount he had in his lunch bag, and as they gave, the amount of food multiplied. So as you give love, you got love, give love.
Love will come back.
That is my motto of this campaign.
Yes.
For my Woman of the Year LLS campaign.
Yes.
If you got love, give love. That's why my campaign name is Share the Love, and that's part of my name.
Can we take a look at the slogan?
It is Share the Love.
God love, then donate. www.sharethелove.com. Fighting Breast Cancer, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So when is the fundraising for leukemia gala will start?
So the grand finale gala is June 3rd.
Okay.
So all donations to our campaign will end at the gala, and they will announce the final Man of the Year and Woman of the Year for LLS 2017. So all donations, sponsorships, any way you want to contribute and donate must be before June 3rd. So please just find it in your heart, pray, you know, ask God, you know, what He would love for you to do for us. And ultimately, you know, Woman of the Year is just a title, but this whole campaign, you know, is bringing life to others. And I want to give someone else another chance for life, just like I had, you know, just the chance I got to do this, you know, I want to pay it forward and pass it on, truly from the bottom of my heart. I mean that.
I heard that there are at least 1.2 million people are fighting through that cancer.
In the United States.
In every 6 minutes, somebody fight out of blood cancer.
That's right.
And every 3 minutes, they fight out, and now they are going through some cancer, knowing that they have cancer. So that is a top journey. So we definitely really
that's in the United States alone.
Yes,
so
can you imagine global?
Yeah. And you know it's crazy that I was on an Italian restaurant website, and I saw the LLS logo on there. So this goes beyond the United States. It goes beyond our campaign. It really is global, and cancer is a global issue, of course.
When they say cancer, that's not prejudice.
Cancer does not discriminate. Does not discriminate. It affects all of us. No matter how old you are, how young you are, rich, poor, doesn't matter, educated, uneducated, it affects all of us. So that's why I wanted my campaign to be a community effort.
Beautiful.
You know, I mean, when this thing came to me, when the directors and the campaign folks of LLS came to me, immediately my wheels were turning. I'm like, how can we get the police department involved, the fire department? How can we get people on the Hill here in Washington, D.C. involved? I don't know, event sites, restaurants, you name it. I'm excited. I'm a connector, and I love to see people come together to do good. And you know, that's like it's almost like an addiction for me to see that. Because to me, that's a picture of love. All colors, all professions coming together, all societies coming together to do good. So
that starts from your imagination.
That exactly. That is what I imagined.
You want to see more. Now that I think you asked you, I always say, imagination is a preview of your future to come. If that sees or wanting to give was in your mind.
Yes.
So it was seeded for you to help other people.
That's right.
As now you speak out loud and share with our audience globally.
Yes.
Hopefully more will actually be able to help and support to you.
Absolutely.
And we're going to take 5 minutes break, and when we come back, we're going to go deep into the deep discussion.
My heart is torn in pieces. It's my offering. Take me to the King. Truth is, I'm tired. Options are few. I'm trying to pray, but where are you? I'm all churched out, hurt and abused.
Hi, Sher.
Hi, Chintana.
Welcome back. So, Sher, after we talked a little bit earlier, and I wanted to really ask you. By the way, thank you for being here today. We appreciate that you share your story.
Thank you for having me.
What a delicious experience you're going through. God is amazing, isn't it?
Delicious.
In and out.
Right.
So, Sher, I want to ask you to actually journey in for me. What was it like when you first discovered that you have cancer?
Oh, wow. You know, it's funny because I did look the doctor in the face before I broke down eventually and said, no, you got the wrong person.
Right.
I said, in my head, I said, they mixed up the slides. They must have mixed up the biopsy slides.
Right.
I've never been sick. There is no reason. I eat organic. I cook my own food. I'm a runner.
Right.
I am a health professional, so I'm very conscious about health. I promote health. My patients know that my only advice is I always go for natural versus drugs. You know, that it's just something people know about me.
Right.
And, you know, cancer, I said, Doc, you got the wrong person. Wow. I mean, I was literally in denial. And I made all of these doctors, even an MD Anderson, go multiple teams, to go through multiple teams to make sure this was cancer. And I remember in the end, the doctors were saying, you got about a month to decide what you want to do, because this is only going to grow. This is, you know, unanimously. Every doctor team, everyone is, including my own friends, I would send them my reports and drive them crazy with questions, and I was up at 3 in the morning accessing all the medical other studies and cases and case studies, reading, and I remember one day particularly, it was 3 in the morning, I started up reading again, and my girlfriend Reggie, who had gone through breast cancer, and she beat it, and she went, you know, struggled, and she was in another country, and all of a sudden I got a ding from her on my messenger saying, what are you doing? And it was like God was telling her, she is going crazy overthinking this, you need to talk to her. And I remember that night she said, stop overthinking it, trust God, and just do what you need to do.
What did your intuition tell you at that time?
You know, it took a lot of my stubbornness. I can be bullheaded. And
we know that.
Yeah, exactly. I had to just let everything go. Every study in my head, every notion that this cannot be me, I had to release. I had to ask the universe to take everything away and open up the door to what needs to be done. You know, open my eyes to what the doctors are saying, and really trust. Trust is very hard for me. And, you know, going through a lot of things in my life besides cancer,
Absolutely.
you know, I began to have trouble with trust. I mean, that's just me being real.
Right.
And this one thing with these doctors, I'm like, no, I can't trust these doctors.
Right.
You know, all these things go in your head that, what are they doing to me? What are they trying to get out of me? And in the end, I had to let go.
So you make peace with God.
I had to make peace with God by realizing that if I pass away and my time was up because of cancer, because of whatever, I had to kind of look back at when my mom died in a car accident. And I
How
thought
old
to
was you
myself,
when your mom passed away?
I was in college, so I was gosh, I must have been 27. I was in the middle of my doctoral in pharmacy school, so I must have been 27 at the time, and it's still unbelievable to me. I don't like to think back, but I finally made peace with God on that, and I thought to myself, God took my mom. What makes me think that this couldn't happen to me, and God couldn't use this? And I began to just make peace with myself, and tell myself, no matter what happens, you live every moment. You know, make every moment count. You know, I remember my pastor, Pastor John Osteen, which is Pastor Joel Osteen's father.
Yeah, amazing.
His dad passed, but I remember a lot of things stuck about, you know, his preaching and his teaching. He was such an amazing, remarkable man, and he always used to say, you know, live your life mindfully of what legacy you're going to leave.
Absolutely. And one thing I learned a lot through life experience, because I lost my father at a young age also, so that's why I can relate to you. I lost my mother a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
so your mother have finished her journey on earth.
Yes.
You know, sometimes certain that accident happened is really took you back to go further deep in, isn't it?
Yes.
To really ask questions of why this happened and how this happened to you.
Right.
You know, and sometimes it gets us closer to God, isn't it?
Right, absolutely. And you know, she, like you said, her spirit's not dead. It's alive.
Absolutely.
Every time I go do orphan care work and I hug those children and I'm with those kids, I really feel my mom's spirit.
She's there.
She's there with them. And for a long time, I kind of stopped.
Right.
And something else happened. I had a tragic relationship situation that happened, and one day something snapped in me, and I was like, "What are you doing? This is what you do." And I remember taking the first step forward, and I went to Ethiopia with NCC, a National Community Church, Pastor Mark Batterson's church in DC. And I remember thinking, this is where you're supposed to be through your pain, Sher. You are supposed to be walking in the life and in the vision that God's put into your heart through your pain, not just stop everything.
Yeah.
And I snapped back, and of course, after that I got cancer. So I thought to myself, God, what do you want from me, Lord? What? I used to joke with my friend in church. I used to say, "What's next, God? Am I going to be on a mission trip and ISIS capture me?" I mean,
don't say that.
I don't want to say that.
But you know what?
I thought to myself, there's nothing left.
Right. But you know what? Sometimes I learned this is sometimes God knows that you're so strong and you're capable and able to handle some things big. As cancer, as life-threatening, meaning that he had the next level of
elevation.
Exactly, and our mission. If something didn't happen, you wouldn't be able to so passionately. I love how you share your story so passionately and supporting the foundation, ShareTheLove.com, to help so many other people that are going through challenging with their journey. I know it's more than cancer. So that's why I want to ask. So, Sher, what is and who is Sher?
Sher's kind of crazy.
Like
but
crazy.
in a good way.
Right.
In a good way.
We support to live our life fearlessly
That's right.
and freely. Like, that's an episode we talk about
Right.
all the time. Is that you here on earth for the sole purpose.
Right.
There's no limitation on earth for you. If that's the job you're supposed to do, God give you
Right.
all the gift that you need,
Yes.
right? It's abundant. So Nana, we know that.
You know, the weird thing is I mindfully try to do good to others. Like I love giving, like I've said before, and loving people. I get a high on loving people and giving.
That's a good high to have.
I get a high, and you know I've never drank alcohol in my life.
How do you know that?
Yeah, so and people at parties ask me, what is wrong? I said, I have a natural high because I love being with y'all.
Right.
I love feeling the love in the room, you know, and the music and anything that's channeling through me. And so basically I think that is something that my family also sees. Sher's a little crazy. Sometimes she'll do some
that's organic
wild
energy.
things. It is organic energy.
We need to bottle you up, Cheers.
Yes. I don't know if you want more than one share on this.
We do.
But,
you are full with energy. That's the part of you that I love, is that you're so full with energy and very contagious energy, you know, so loving and just spontaneously.
You know, after cancer, it got like heightened.
Yeah, it's get to the next level.
It did. It went to the next level. I think God elevated that hyper. I'm very hyper.
Yeah.
And you know,
what about patient? You have more patient or less patient?
You know, I don't know. I have more patience, I will say.
Okay.
Things don't get to me like they used to.
Yeah.
Because I've realized that in the long run, all these small things that stress us out, they're quite meaningless.
Yeah.
They are, and they stress us out for nothing. People and each other, that is really what life is all about. Taking care of the earth, taking care of each other.
Right.
That includes animals and all life forms, you know, and that's what's most meaningful in my life. And you know, I go through these phases where I'm very conservative.
Right.
My parents taught me very conservative. They didn't want me to. I don't know how to swim because they didn't want me going to public
too.
pools. Oh yeah. Okay. Great. Okay.
I grew up on the beach in Thailand. Okay. I did not know how to swim growing up. That's how conservative my grandparents was.
Well, there, see,
we were both of them.
Exactly. That's how my parents were. But I get this whim. You know, I love marine life. So I have my own life jacket and snorkel that I take all around the world with me, and I'll just jump into these oceans. Let me tell you something.
Do you know how to swim now, right?
I don't. but it's all right. But when I went to Africa, I took a trip to South Africa after the mission trip to go cage diving with the great white shark.
Are you kidding?
And I can't swim, and I'll never do that again. But you know, it's some things like that. I'll catch a wild hare, and so this year, after this campaign, I'm going to go with my friend Coco, and we are set to go climb Mount Fuji in Japan. So it's stuff like that.
That's awesome.
My doctors, I don't think they're gonna like that, but you know, I'm determined to do this.
That's what's life all about.
I'm so passionate about travel.
That's what I'm gonna lead me to ask you this question: is that so? What is your imagination? What does imagination mean to you?
You know, I'm a big, I love imagination, and I'm big on envisioning things. And so I imagine for my own life, going further with the vision that I've had in the past, and that's building hospitals, building schools, you know, furthering the orphan care work. I've always had that in my heart. And I know it's gonna happen, you know. I know it's a step-by-step process. The journey comes with pain. And some people may think that when they have cancer, or any type of ailment, it doesn't have to be cancer, any disease, any bump in the road, depression, you know, there's all kinds of things that, you know, life throws at us. And you just want to stop, and you just want to stop imagining what you thought would come to pass and think that it won't. But I want people to know that keep imagining, keep envisioning, even if it's local, even if it's community. And I know that you know, some people won't have will have different life spans. You know, some people will have short life, some people have long life. but don't stop dreaming. Don't stop envisioning the things that you love to come to pass. You know, and that's in my imagination, in my visions. Those things that I love are going to take to a more elevated level. And I'm excited.
Yeah, that
you know when I went. Yeah, you know when I went to surgery, I was going down with the anesthesia, and I know those doctors wanted to shut me up because I was like, I am building a small clinic in Africa, and if you need to get me off of this hospital bed. Aww. Because if not, I'm challenging all of y'all. You need to continue that work for those orphan kids. I remember there was one lady. This last face I saw going down in anesthesia. She goes, "Don't worry, honey. We're going to get you up. We're going to get you out."
God, you're fire. You're a little fire tiger.
Yeah, I'm excited about what's around the band.
That's wonderful.
I just love it. I think there was an honest fear with the cancer diagnosis, but then there was this side that was so faithful and had so much hope. You know, it's from God, but it's also from the people that God brought into my life. Yeah. I want to say thank you to everyone who wrote me. I must have been contacted by almost 1,000 people. Wow. And social media is very powerful. Yeah. That's why it's tools like this.
We connect globally.
We connect globally, exactly. And this mission, this campaign, mission in life, I want to take it to a global level because this is how we make a difference in each other's life. Yeah. No man is an island.
No, and
we need each other.
That's one thing I love. That what you just said is so powerful. Is that we are on this earth together.
That's right.
You know, nobody's alone. You know, and nobody should never feel they're alone because we're all together.
Right.
For whatever different cause that we go through, there's a reason and there's a gift that each person's supposed to do for other people.
Yes.
So I want to lead to another question. I'm sure a lot of people wanted to know.
She's getting deep, y'all.
I'm getting deep, right? And also, is there any special person in your life right now?
Sweetheart. Right now, it's just Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's the best sweetheart you can ever ask
and you know, I've got a lot of great people. I think reaching out through this campaign, through my cancer journey and cancer survival journey, you know, guys have reached out, and some really amazing guys. And I always say to people, I'm a real hard match because you have to love me at my heart in order to really love me. And I truly believe that you can't love me surface level. You know,
it has to be unconditional love.
Exactly.
Like your father and your mother has that foundation. It's called
Agape love.
Agape love.
Oh yeah. And so
I love that
my brother, my dad's brothers, and his wife founded the Agape Children's Home in South India, and so I guess primary founders was my mom, my dad, and then uncle and his wife Jolly. So basically, they had the vision. My dad and mom jumped on board. My mom has always loved orphan care. And it's funny, she never got a chance to see it because she got killed right before the groundbreaking.
Really?
The tickets, everything was, you know, bought, and I went in her place, and my brother and my brother's wife at the time, they weren't married, but she was an integral part of our life, and my cousins, so all of us went together, and it was almost like that spirit passed to us. I mean, even till this day, my brother and his wife do support orphan care. They adopted 2 beautiful orphans, Priya and Hope, and yeah, so they that's my heart. And of course, can't leave out Josh, my baby Joshy. They had biologically, by a miracle, you know, after they adopted the second child.
So 3 children.
Yes, and she is carrying the 4th one.
How exciting!
It's a miracle, girl. So, but we are all excited.
Wow.
Yeah, and in fact, this weekend I will travel over there because one of our close friends, amazing, beautiful Marjane, wants to do a fundraiser cocktail party on behalf of at her residence in Houston, Texas. So yeah, she is on board all the way. This is already the vision of past DC is happening. So she is fundraising for this www.sharethелove.com campaign to fight blood cancers through Leukemia Lymphoma Society. And so, you know, like you said, write it down, a clear vision, go towards it, and it's already happening.
Exactly.
It's already happening.
Watch it, like we talked earlier, like I said, I can't wait to see your vision board. You know,
Yes.
you start your vision board tonight or this
Right.
week. Exactly whatever the lifestyle you want to have, the
Right.
car, the how, the family, the journey that you want to have.
Yes.
Put in that vision board,
Right.
and you will materialize it to become exactly what God wants you to be.
I love it.
You know, on that note, I wish we could talk some more.
I
We have to
know.
bring you for some more episodes. But before we leave, this one question I wanted you to share is this: that if you had to advise your younger self, what would you tell her?
If I had to advise my younger self, I would tell her, believe and love yourself the way you are, Cher. Because I remember so many times, and it's the people that are closest to you, they mean well, but through your tradition or through your religious circles, I think people, because of their own insecurities, will try and limit you.
Right.
So I would look back on my younger self and say, break through those barriers. Girlfriend, you knew all this time what you had, your talents, your treasure, and what was in your heart. And I would have gone full force, without fear, without listening to all of the negative words that says that I can't. And I would look myself in the face and say, you can, no matter what. And even if you failed at whatever you love doing, at least you tried. And I think that's the downfall. A lot of people won't try because of fear of failure. And, you know, even in this campaign, I mean, there are like moments where I'm like, you know, you're going to fall flat in your face. These voices will come, and I'm just like, no, who cares?
Exactly.
Even if I do, it's all right. I beat cancer and I'm alive. So, you know, it's almost like the driving force is the passion.
Yeah.
And no matter what the outcome is, I know it's going to be all right. Knowing that, I would tell my younger self that it's going to be all right no matter what you do. So keep being yourself.
I love you, Cher. I can talk to you all day long, honey. What a wonderful, wonderful, passionate soul you are.
Thank you.
And we're glad that we have a conversation. And hopefully our friends globally will be inspired by your story.
Right.
And also, Cher is going to be one of her wisdom will be shared along on Empower Imagination book that's going to be coming out soon. So stay tuned to her exciting and interesting mind that she's going to be share on a journey.
Thank you.
So until next time, I want to say thank you so much for watching and be a part of our Empower Imagination, the kindness movement, where we hope that billions of lives will be inspired to be kinder toward each other. My name is Chintana
And I'm Sher Matthew.
we send all the loves to you. Until next time, stay amazing you.
Don't close your eyes when there's so much for you to see. Leave your troubles, open up to me. Don't be afraid, I like the way